Hello friends! In the previous episode, my father had landed on an unfamiliar island. In this episode, we are going to talk about my father's adventures on this island. We said that when my father fell on the island, he immediately took off his clothes because he could get sick with wet clothes. He left his clothes in the sun and waited for them to dry. After a long time, his clothes were dry. My father put on his clothes and went out to explore the island. He started looking for something to eat on the island, primarily because he was hungry. After a long search, he found fruits growing on a tree. He plucked a few of the fruits that looked very tasty. He was a little tired at first, but took a bite of the fruit. It tasted very good. He continued to eat and finished. He waited for a while. When he saw that nothing happened, he started to eat other fruits. After eating three, he realized that his stomach was full. Having solved his first problem, my father started looking for water to drink as a second job. He began to climb the hills. He saw a river flowing ahead. He advanced and finally reached the river. He bent down and took a sip. The water was very sweet and beautiful. He drank the fullest and straightened up. He had now taken care of the food and water problem. He had to build a shelter for himself so that he could live on this island. He immediately got to work and started collecting useful materials around. He collected tree stumps and was put to work building a house. Bamboo trees by the river were the ideal material for this job. He would both build his house and draw a line from the river for his house, so he could use this water to drink water and to take a bath. Again, he found a very nice place to build a house by the side of a tree. He built a house for himself using bamboo trees and logs. The house would save him from the rain and the cold at night. It was night and he lay down to sleep. He would see the stars above. While looking at the stars, he realized how much he missed his home, but he didn't have the strength to do anything else. He immediately started a fire and went to sleep. In the morning, the sun was starting to show its beautiful face again. My father got up and washed his hands. He had fulfilled all the conditions for living. He set out to explore this uninhabited island for exploration purposes. He started walking slowly through the mountains. He climbed high mountains. He was excited to see a living creature after every hill he had climbed. Go for a long time and get very tired. He sat and rested in the shade of a tree. He started to hear a different animal sound. While trying to figure out which animal the sound belonged to, he suddenly saw a shadow behind him. It was a lion. He was very scared the moment he saw it. A big lion and my father were face to face. My father was trying not to show his fear. However, his fear was evident. The lion fell to his knees and sat on the ground. My father was surprised. While waiting for the lion to attack, he suddenly saw that there was a lion waiting for affection and love in front of me. He started to like the lion. The lion liked it. My father and the lion became friends, and my father named the Lion King. Together they went to the camp that my father had built. My father now had a pet, and he trained it over me. One morning, while the king was sleeping, my father went for a walk. As he walked, he began to hear very strange sounds coming from the surroundings. In a short time, he saw two clays from the local tribe in front of me. They tied my father's hands and took him to their village. My father could not get along because he was alone and did not know the language of the native tribesmen. They had very strange conversations between them, and they began to look at my father angrily. They placed a large cauldron in the middle of the village. They lit a fire under it, put water in it, and waited until it boiled. They were going to throw my father into the cauldron. My father started to shout for help. However, the native tribes people did not understand. They had my father in his arms, and just as he was about to throw it into the cauldron, a strong lion's voice came. My father's friend, the king, had come to save my father. My father started shouting joyfully, "Here comes my friend! Here comes my friend!" The native tribesmen immediately began to flee. The king came to my father, and together they escaped and reached the campsite. At that moment, my father was crying desperately to get rid of it. Just then, a light appeared, and my grandfather's walking stick came to find my father's side. My father happily bid farewell to his friend, the king, and held the cane. Just then, my father teleported back home to my grandfather. My grandfather was very happy to see my father and well done to my father. "Son, you survived very well this time. I'm proud of you, my lion son," he said. When my father heard the word lion, he was very sad and told my grandfather about his friend the king. My grandfather, "Yes, my son, the king saved me too. He was a very loyal friend, but like all good things, his friendship must come to an end," he said. That's all for this part of our story, friends. See you in the next section. Goodbye.